What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one on this beautiful Sunday morning. Man, we got Roy Jones back in the news, man, going at Floyd Mayweather some more. I'm gonna play a clip of what he had to say, and then I'm gonna drop my opinion about it because, at this point, man, I think it's just starting to get ridiculous. I love Roy Jones. He's definitely one of my top five favorite fighters of all time. But some of the stuff that he's saying, I feel like they're starting to nitpick now, and it is coming off as jealousy and hate. But I want to hear what guys have to say as well. Make sure you drop your opinion in the comment section, but take a listen to what he has to say, and then listen to my rebuttal.
When you mention great fighters, right? 90% of your great fighters are black, the ones from the past. Now, with the Eastern Bloc coming on like they are, there's going to be some great ones coming on now. Even with Lil Tony, as you see, these guys are going to be great. They're going to start eclipsing and coming up there too. But right now, if you had to name 5 of the best fighters of all time, 4 of them going to be black. You understand me? Who did he beat that was black in his prime, that was in their prime, that was on his level? Nobody.
Now, the word prime is a misunderstood word because not even just casuals, but a lot of hardcore fans don't understand what it means to really be in your prime. When you're in your prime, that means you're at your physical peak, right? That means you're at your physical peak. That does not mean that you're unbeatable in your prime. All right, so let's get that understood now. To say that Floyd Mayweather has never fought a black fighter in his prime is ridiculous, right? Because if I throw out Zab Judah, then what can you say? Zab Judah was 28 years old when he fought Floyd. Now, the casual will come back and say, well, he had already got beaten by Costa Tszyu and Carlos Baldomir, right? But here's the thing. Just because, and this is where I'm talking about, like, a lot of people don't understand what it means to be in your prime. They don't understand what prime means. Just because you're in your prime does not mean you're not beatable. People get that mixed up. They think that, oh, well, he lost. Just because you lost, that doesn't mean that you're not in your physical prime anymore. I don't know where people get this notion that, like, bro, just because you lose, you're no longer in your prime, bro. Your prime does not mean you're unbeatable. Your prime just means you're at your physical best. You're in those years. And normally they say your prime runs between the ages of 28 and 35 or whatnot. Your physical prime, your peak, when you're at your physical peak, is between the ages of 28 and 35. And so, with that being said, to say that Floyd has never fought a black fighter in his peak, that's not true. All right. When he fought, I just gave you Zab Judah. He fought DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley when I want to say Chop Chop was either 30 or 31. He fought what's the dude? Philip Endow. Damn, how old was Philip Endow? Nah, I think I gotta look that up. Hold on. Let's type it in real quick. All right, let me see here. Philip Endow. Okay, so Philip Endow was 26. Who else did he fight? Now, granted, I'm gonna say this right here too. I'm gonna say this right here. The Andre Berto situation, albeit I think Andre Berto might have been like 31 when Floyd fought him or something like that, 30 or 31. I do know this. Floyd was actually, and Andre Berto even spoke on this too. Floyd was actually supposed to fight Andre Berto should he had got past Victor Ortiz. The Victor Ortiz fight was pretty much a layup for Andre Berto, and nobody thought Victor Ortiz was going to beat Andre Berto. And Floyd was agreeing to fight Andre Berto had Andre Berto got past Victor Ortiz. But obviously he didn't or whatnot. And Floyd ended up fighting him for his last fight or whatever. But Sean Bay Mitchell, I think Sean Bay Mitchell was like 34, but I won't say Sean Bay, I think he was towards the end of his career. I think Sean Bay might have had like 2 more fights after Floyd or whatnot. And then also, of course, Shane Mosley was 38. So I won't argue with you if you feel like Shane Mosley was past his prime, which, he kind of was, but he still had fight left in him. He wasn't a shot fighter. Like, the Shane Mosley that Canelo Alvarez fought was a shot fighter, but the Shane Mosley that Floyd fought, Shane still had some fight left in him, and he was a world champion. I think he was the WBA world champion, but Floyd didn't want to fight for his title. But Shane Mosley had a belt at 147 when Floyd fought him. Or whatnot. But anyways, I say that to say, bro, like it's just, to me, it's just like a stretch now, bro. It's like, bro, so what do we like? Floyd still fought many great fighters, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, bro, you know, I would have loved to see Floyd. You know, I think Floyd would have picked apart at the time Devin Alexander. I would have loved to see that. I would love to see Floyd fight Paul Mitchell. I mean, I said Paul Mitchell. Paul Williams. It is there are fighters that I would have loved to see Floyd fight. I'm not gonna, I would have even loved to see Floyd at 154 against Erislandy Lara. I think that would have made for an interesting matchup. But Floyd still fought some great black fighters. So I don't understand, like, and then another thing is, like, people act like and I saw this comment, bro, and I had to I got to give that person credit. Like, people act like Floyd, all these guys age except for Floyd in the minds of, like, the haters that Floyd Mayweather has. But here's what I really wanted to talk about, and I got to give a shout out to my dude Ronell. He brought this up to my opinion, and he's a Roy Jones fan. Don't get it twisted. He sides more with Roy Jones than Floyd Mayweather. But how is it that, like, bro, you older fighters are criticizing these younger fighters for holding on to their O, but then Roy Jones, you turn around and criticize Floyd for not fighting guys that were undefeated or fighting guys with losses on their records? But you're the same person that criticized these young fighters for holding O's on their record. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, how do you criticize Floyd for that? Like, that kind of, like, contradicts itself, bro. Like, Floyd Mayweather, the black fighters that he fought was not undefeated, but then you're criticizing him because they weren't undefeated, but you're the same person, like, that's saying that these guys are trying to hold their O's and that's what's messing up boxing. Like, come on, bro, like, that doesn't even make sense, bro. Like, come on, dog, you can't criticize Floyd. Zab Judah was definitely on Floyd's level, and he proved that fight and that night. And Chop Chop even called Floyd with some good shots. Chop Chop was a good fighter back then. Now, if you look at his record now, you'll be like, what the heck? But back then, Chop Chop was good. Philip Endow, I think Philip Endow had the record of like 31-1 with 30 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, Floyd has been in there with some dogs, bro. So you just have to give him his credit. What I think, if I'm being honest, I think that, this is just my opinion, Roy Jones is definitely one of my favorite fighters of all time in my top 5. I don't think anybody's prime was better than Roy Jones. But I do feel like there's jealousy there, bro. Like, it's a little jealousy there. I feel like Roy Jones is more so like, and it's not jealousy because he has an opinion of Floyd. I want to get them, understood. Just because you have an opinion about somebody, or, your opinion, that doesn't make you a hater. Because if that's the case, then we're all haters, right? But when you go out of your way to constantly discredit a person, that's when I feel like, all right, bro, you're coming off like a hater, bro. And I just feel like because Floyd Mayweather has mastered the art of business and got the most buck for his vein, I just think that Roy Jones, there's a little hatred there, bro. Like, Roy Jones, Roy Jones' first loss shouldn't even have been a loss, but they took it from him. They also, the biggest robbery in boxing history was when Roy Jones fought in the Olympics. He was robbed. I still look at him as a gold medalist because he was robbed of that opportunity. Biggest robbery in boxing history. I just feel like, he looks at Floyd, like, that's what I should have been. Or imagine if Roy Jones would have came in the time that Floyd Mayweather came in, bro. Oh my gosh. Imagine Roy Jones, and Floyd Mayweather didn't even come in the era of social media. Floyd Mayweather was before that, but I'm still saying though, like, Roy Jones, he would have been like, oh my, like the biggest athlete in the world at the time. But he did it, man, and it's like, it's okay. We can't forget what the legacy that Roy Jones has. We cannot forget that. But at the same time, I just think that Roy Jones needs to he just needs to be a little. I don't know. I think that people are overcritical of Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and also, good fighters. I love my people. Don't get it twisted. But good fighters don't stop at black fighters. Like, it's still, Floyd fought plenty of great fighters. Miguel Cotto, Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people, he fought them. It was older. Like, Floyd is older than all these fighters that I just named, outside of Marquez, I believe. But Yeah, the Arturo Gotti. Well, I ain't Arturo Gotti, but you know, Diego Corrales. You know what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez. Like Floyd has been in there with some really great fighters. So you just have to just. It to me, it definitely. And here's the thing. Last but not least, bro. For decades, bro, Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins has been talking bad about Floyd Mayweather, bro. And Floyd, you can look it up on YouTube, bro. Floyd never responded to them. If you, I probably like, bro, for years on top of years, they talked bad about Floyd, and Floyd never responded to them up until this point right here. Floyd probably tired of it. That's just my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?